Welcome students for the chemistry lecture, and yesterday I have explained you the syllabus that you are going to learn for this second semester in the chemistry paper number 3, physical chemistry. And you know, your first unit, first chapter, it is the chemical energetics, and that unit, it is divided into two parts. Part A, it deals with the study of thermodynamics, and part B, it deals with the study of thermochemistry. I have explained you the sub points in this unit first. So let us begin with the part A, that is thermodynamics. And here in the introductory part I will explain you how this word thermodynamics it is derived, and who was the first who coined this term at first. You know, the scientist Thomson in 1827, this word thermodynamics is utilized, and it is derived from the Greek word thermo, that means heat, and dynamics means power. That means thermodynamics, it is related with heat and power. Power, that is energy. And all of you know, thermodynamics, it is the quantitative study of heat and different forms of energies. So thermodynamics is the branch of science that deals with the quantitative relationship between heat and other forms of energy. And you know, this thermodynamics, it is studied with the help of laws, and that laws, they are based on the first law, second law, third law, and zeroth law. Here, the first law, it deals with the conservation of energy. That means energy neither created nor destroyed, but one form of energy, it is converted into the another form of energy. And the second law, it deals with the energies can flow from one body to another body. And the third law, it deals with the determination of absolute entropy. And the zeroth law, it deals with the thermal equilibrium. And all of you know, the measurement of fever of the body, it is done with the help of thermometer. And this principle, it is the zeroth law. That means the two bodies, they are in thermal equilibrium with each other. So in detail you have to learn the thermodynamics with the help of some basic terms that are oftenly used in the study of thermodynamics, and with the help of three laws: first law, second law, third law, and zeroth law. So let us begin with the study of thermodynamics, and remember that this chapter, this unit, it is very easy to understand. Simply here full attention is required, and if there are any queries or you may have any doubts, you may ask to me, so that I will explain you all the your queries and doubts so that you can understand better. So here we will begin with the basic concepts of thermodynamics. And the first term that we oftenly used in the study of thermodynamics, it is the energy. And all of you know, energy is defined as capacity to do work. Without energy, we cannot have any type of work. Let us take our example. If we do not have a sufficient energy to study, then we can't study better. So, energy must be with us, then and then we can thought better, we can study better, we can move better. Okay, so the first term that is oftenly used in the study of thermodynamics, and that energy is defined as capacity to do work. Then the second term that is oftenly used, that is the work. And you know, the work is the motion against an opposing force. Work is a motion against an opposing force, and it is expressed as W, that means work, it is equal to F, that is the force, into displacement, that is motion. I repeat here, work is a motion against an opposing force. It is expressed as W, it is equal to F into dx, where F, it is the force applied against which work has to be done, and dx, it is equal to displacement distance. So here you have studied the first term, that is energy, and you know, energy, it is the capacity to do work, and it is associated with any system or any body. There is a energy. Then all of you know, there are different types of energies: mechanical energy, chemical energy, kinetic energy, potential energy, solar energy, and all these forms of energies are interconvertible, and it is studied in the thermodynamics. Then the second term that you have studied, it is the work, and work is a motion against an opposing force. It is expressed by W, it is equal to F into dx, where F is a force applied against which work has to be done, and dx, it is the displacement distance. Here again, in a brief, here work is analogous to heat. Work is also a transient form of energy which is observed when it crosses the boundaries of the system without transfer of mass. Then it is a path function. A small work done due to displacement, it is given by delta W, it is equal to F into ds. Again ds, it is a small displacement, and the total work done, it is given by the integration of initial state to final state of F into ds. We will see later on in details of the total work. Again, there are different types of works. The work due to expansion, and it is given by the product of pressure into volume change. That is W, it is equal to P delta V. It is also called as mechanical work or pressure volume type of work. And the another type of work, it is the electrical work, and it is given by N F E or NEF, where N it is the number of electrons involved in the reaction, E it is the potential or voltage, and F it is the Faraday constant. There are different types of works as a mechanical work, electrical work, etc. Then the next term that is often used, it is heat, and all of you know heat is the form of energy which transfer without transfer of mass from one body to another body, or in between the system and surrounding from higher temperature to lower temperature by a virtue of temperature difference between the two bodies. Again, I will repeat, heat, it is the form of energy, and it transfers without transfer of mass from one body to another body. And essential condition for the heat transfer, that is there must be temperature difference in between the two bodies. Then it may be denoted by a capital Q or small q, and heat it is expressed in joule denoted by a letter J. Here, when a system absorbs heat, then it is given by positive sign, that means plus Q. Then when the heat is rejected from the system, it is given with a negative sign, and it is a extensive property and path function, and it is a inexact differential. Then you know the processes are either extensive or intensive. I will explain you this later on. Time being, remember that heat it is a extensive property. That means it depends on the matter, quantity of matter present in the system. Then the another term that is also used in the study of thermodynamics, it is the enthalpy or heat content of the system. Here it is the total energy of the system. Enthalpy means total energy of the system. Then it is also expressed in the form of specific enthalpy. Then U it is an internal energy, P it is a pressure, V it is a volume, are point functions. So H is also a point function and property of the system. The unit of enthalpy is again joule or kilojoule or fractions, and it is expressed as H it is equal to U plus Pv. Remember this equation. Here H it is the enthalpy, U it is the internal energy. In some books enthalpy it is given by E plus Pv, where E it is internal energy, and here internal energy it is denoted by letter U. So remember that enthalpy it is a total energy of the system. It is denoted by letter H, small h or capital H, depending on the requirement of the equation, and H it is equal to sum of internal energy plus the product of pressure and volume. Okay, then here I have used the word system And the system, it is any part of universe or any part of matter that we are going to study, or the part of universe under our study, it is termed as system. Then the surrounding, and the surrounding means the remaining part other than system, it is called as surrounding here. And the universe is the sum of system plus surrounding, and boundary, it is the real or imaginary surface that separates the system from its surrounding. And this diagram, it shows you the system, it has its boundary, that means we concentrate on this part here. Huh? Whatever may be here, we concentrate on this part. This is called a system, and the remaining part of the universe, it is called as surrounding. And these two, that means system plus surrounding, they forms a universe. Remember again, system, it is a quantity of matter or region in a space chosen for study, or it is under our observation. The system, it may contain matter, or it may, or any region, any space under our observation. The surrounding, that is the mass or region outside the system, and the boundary, it is either real or imaginary surface that separates the system from its surroundings. Okay, then here, depending on the nature of system, there are different systems, that is the types of systems. Here all of you know the systems are either open system, closed system, or isolated system. And this diagram clearly shows that here there is a liquid taken in test tube, and the mouth of the test tube, it is open. That means in case of open system, the system can exchange matter as well as energy with the surrounding. Open system, it can exchange the matter as well as energy with the surrounding. Here our system is a liquid taken in a test tube. Liquid taken in a test tube, it is our system. We have concentrated to study what are the effects of either temperature, either pressure on the system, and this system exchanges its matter, that means this liquid, and its energy with surrounding. So such systems are called as open system. That is the system that can exchange matter as well as energy with the surrounding. Such system is called as open system. Then the another type of system, it is the closed system. And this diagram, in this diagram here, this test tube, it has a lid. That means the open end, it is closed with the help of lid. So here there is no exchange of matter, but it can exchange its energy with the surrounding. Such systems are called as closed systems. Here closed systems means the system which cannot exchange matter but can exchange energy with the surroundings. And in this third diagram, it is here isolated system is shown. That means the isolated system which cannot exchange matter as well as energy with the surrounding. Such systems are called as isolated system. Here, this test tube, it is placed in a tough surrounding here, and it is shown here a broken part so that you can understand well. Here is a tough rubber tubing or any insulation is there, and in that insulation we have kept our test tube containing certain liquid, and it has a tight its lid. It cannot exchange its matter or energy with the surrounding. Such systems are called as isolated systems. Then in case of closed system, they can exchange energy but not the matter, and in case of open systems they can exchange matter as well as energy with the surrounding. So there are three types of systems. Then the thermodynamic processes. Here thermodynamic process means any operation that brings the change in a state of the system. Here, the state of a system, it is fixed by fixing temperature, pressure and volume. That means we can state any system with the help of fixing variables of the system, and all of you know temperature, pressure, concentration, volume, these are the variables of the system, and by fixing these variables we can define the state of the system. And here any operation that brings the change in a state of the system, such a operation is called as thermodynamic process. And for example, the thermodynamic processes are either heating process. That means if we have a water in a beaker and we heat that water, that means the state of the water, that means that water is kept in a room temperature. The temperature of the system, it will changes, it will increase due to the operation, and that operation is a heating operation. That means the state of system is changed, and such a phenomenon it is called as thermodynamic process. So there are different operations. While carrying these operations, the state of system can be changed. For example, here heating process, boiling process, vaporization, freezing, expansion, contraction, etc. These are the different operations. Performing these operations, a state of system it may change. Understand thermodynamic process, it is the any operation that brings the change in a state of system. That operations are called as thermodynamic processes, and the processes can be carried out under various conditions and named as. Here the different processes are as follows: isothermal process, isobaric process, isochoric, adiabatic, cyclic, reversible, irreversible. And isothermal process means that process is carried out at constant temperature. Here iso stands for a constant, any definite, and thermal means temperature. So the process which is carried out at constant temperature, it is called as isothermal. Then The process which is carried out at constant pressure, it is called as isobaric process. Then the process which is carried out at constant volume, such processes are called as isochoric process. Choric means volume, and all these iso, they are prefix isotherm, that means constant. Here isochoric process means that process is carried out at constant volume. Then adiabatic process, here the heat change is zero. That means heat of the system, it remains constant throughout that completion of that process. And here Q, it is equal to 0. In case of initial state as well as final state, the heat, it is always constant. Such processes are called as adiabatic. Then cyclic process. After performing a different steps or different operations, we arrive or we retain the original state. Such process is called as cyclic. Then reversible, the process which takes place in a forward reaction as well as in a backward reaction. That means the reactants, they will get converted into product as well as the products, they react and they will convert into reactants. Such a reaction is the reversible reaction, and opposite of this, irreversible reactions or natural reactions or spontaneous reactions that takes place in a one direction. Irreversible reactions are unidirectional. Here again I will explain what is the cyclic process. When a system is in a given initial state, goes through various processes and finally return to its initial state. The system has undergone a cyclic process or a cycle. Here, suppose we have here at this point, then we performed step 1, we arrive at a step 2, and again after performing step 2, here we arrive at a initial state. That means initial state equal to final state. This is called as cyclic process. We have performed step 1 and after performing step 2, we have performed step 2 and we retain our original or initial state. Such processes are cyclic processes. Then reversible process. It is defined as a process that once having take place, it can be reversed. In doing so, it leaves no change in system or boundary, and irreversible process is a process that cannot return both the system and surrounding to their original condition. I mean, you have understood well. If you don't understand, you cannot understand, you may ask your difficulties. Okay, then I will explain you here. The prefix iso is often used to designate a process for which particular property remains constant. As already you know, isobaric processes, a process during which the pressure P remains constant. That is, pressure is constant. Change in pressure delta P, it is equal to 0. This triangle, it is called as delta, and delta means change. Initial pressure if Pi, and the final pressure if it is Pf, okay, and it is equal to 0. Here in this diagram we have on y-axis pressure and on x-axis suppose volume. Here this point it is denoted by the initial volume, and at this point here it is a final volume, and this is a pressure, initial pressure, final pressure, but this is a constant, that means initial pressure it is equal to final pressure, and such process is called as isobaric process. Thank you. The remaining part we will see later on.